bringing you the latest news from Monterey Athletics. This is the Plainsman Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Good Tuesday evening, afternoon. I am Randy Rosetta. This is 100.7 The Score, and you've wandered into the high school fan zone. We are going to start with the Plainsman fan zone here in just a minute. I'm going to go through my little reminders here since we're still early in the season. We shuffled the deck coming into this season, so Mondays are going to be Estacado, Memorial, and Liberty, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Tonight, Tuesday night, will be Monterey and Coronado, 6 to 7 p.m. We try to keep them separate, so there's no... I could make an old reference, and maybe you and I would understand. No scrapping in the studio, guys. And then Wednesday is going to be Lubbock High, Friendship, and Lubbock Cooper, 6 to 7:30 p.m. I'll run through the state of the games that are carried on Raymar stations here real quick. I'm going to start with the Plainsman since that's who's sitting here. Monterey's games are on 93.7 The Eagle, so Friday you will hear them from way down in El Paso. Radio crew's going, right? As far as you know?
As far as I know.
They're way down in El Paso when they play El Paso Franklin, I think at 7 p.m. our time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 6 p.m. Mountain Time. That doesn't affect anybody. Turn the radio on at 7, you'll hear the game. Coronado is on 96.9 The Bull. They are at Abilene Wylie on Friday. Liberty is on 93.1, and I've been giving you the wrong information. It's 93.1 Young Country. Friendship is on Double T 97.3 FM, and the Lubbock Cooper Pirates are right here on 100.7 The Score. On Friday nights, you can check in to Double T 97.3 and 100.7 The Score for the West Texas Friday night preview from 6 to 6:30 p.m. And then 9:30 to midnight, those same two stations will have the West Texas Friday night scoreboard. We're going to jump right into the Plainsman fan zone because these guys should be feeling pretty good. Fair enough to say?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, I see some smiles over there. Jason, your guys won 24 to 21. I've seen two really good games so far this year, and that's one of them because that was just a good high school football game. A lot of back and forth. You guys won 24 to 21 against Abilene Wylie. Sort of a comeback win. You were never too terribly far behind, but really played a nice second half. We talked after the game. The offense did some things in that first half, just didn't show up on the scoreboard. And it started showing up on the scoreboard after halftime. You guys really did some nice things with the ball after halftime.
I would agree. We didn't start the game off well, obviously, with the pick six that put us down 7, but then we got the ball and took it right back down to the 1 yard line, and then kind of typical of what we'd been doing early in the year, have 2 missed assignments up on the line and get pushed back, and then are resigned to take a field goal, and that's all the scoring in the first half, 7-3. We just couldn't string anything together. You have to be able to be consistent. We haven't been hitting a bunch of really explosive plays yet. We will. But when you don't hit explosive plays, you have to be extremely efficient in your drives, and we're just making too many mistakes to be efficient. In the second half, we started to do the things we needed to do. We hit some big plays. We were more efficient with our execution of our offense, and it showed on the scoreboard.
When I did the stats, I was covered the game at Lowry Field last week. When I was doing the stats and I was adding them up, you had, I think, 120, 125 yards at halftime, which is not horrible. It's not overwhelming, but you had 10 first downs and 3 points, and that just didn't click together. I'm going to ask Cam this because Cam deals with this young man from a different viewpoint than you do. Coach mentioned that Jonah threw the pick six on his first pass of the night. It didn't bother, or I'm sure it bothered him, but it didn't affect him the rest of the night. As one of his receivers, how much confidence did that kind of give you to see your quarterback kind of shake that off and start playing the way he did? Hold that close, make sure folks can hear you.
We always tell him, we've been telling him that this is he's just coming from 3A, so it's just going to be him adjusting and all that. And we don't give him enough slack. We don't give him that much slack about it because we know he's going to get it together by the time district comes.
He got it together pretty good in the second half. He started looking for Cam Taylor. That's a pretty good game plan for a quarterback.
Yes, sir.
How many catches? 7 catches for 118, I think is what the stats that Coach sent me. You've played with great receivers the last couple of years, but you've kind of stepped into that role as the guy the quarterback's looking for. What have you done to kind of carve that spot out?
Really, it's just all in practice. In practice, I try to work on winning my one-on-ones with our DBs so I can go out there against other DBs and just do the same.
Putting the cart way before the horse, but the touchdown that kind of put the game away, the chemistry between you two, that looked like two guys that have been playing for 15 or 16 years together. But he threw the ball up and he knew where you were going to be. How when you look back on video, how cool was it to see that play unfold?
I watched that play probably about 100 times already.
That's all right.
And I love it because our Choctaw game, we had a lot of just bad timing with me and him, and just that throw right there is probably how the rest of the season would go.
Well, that's positive thinking. So I'll come back to you, Jason, knowing that Joni, there's a young man that lives in your house, so you know his psyche. Throws that pick six. Did you say anything to him on the sideline, or did you let him kind of?
Oh, I mean, as soon as it came off, like me, Coach Gillespie, a bunch of the kids immediately were to him and were like, "Hey, shake it off, next play." I mean, that's the mentality you got to have, next play mentality, and he did it. And since he's come to Monterey, like Cam right here was our leading receiver last year. You know, I mean, we know what he's capable of doing. He's very dynamic. He's explosive, and he's got great hands. And so I was immediately preaching to Jonah, you know, like, hey, you've got to develop chemistry with him. You've got to, in crunch time situations, be ready because we're going through Cam when we can. And he's starting to get the confidence in him. You can see that trust level every throw in the second half. He got more and more and more confidence with them, and the more that he plays with all of his receivers, the more chemistry he's going to develop with them, the more trust that he's going to have in them. And we're not there yet. You know, we've got a lot of learning to do still and just get on the same page. But when it matters, I really do believe they're going to all be in tune and getting to the right spots on the field and understanding what each other's trying to do. It takes a little bit, and that's with everybody. It took Luke a little bit to get, you know, dialed in last year too, and we know what happened there, and I expect much of the same.
Tamon, we're going to talk to you, I promise. We're coming up on a break here. We talked a lot about the offense there, in part because the offense in the second half, I think I wrote it the other night. I think you scored on 4 straight possessions after just the 3 points in the first half. So maybe it was 3 straight. So turn the game around. We're coming up on the break. We'll be back to talk more Monterey Plainsman football on 100.7 The Score in the Plainsman Fan Zone.
Diving headfirst into Monterey athletics. You're listening to the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. We are in the second segment of the Plainsman Fan Zone on a Tuesday night. This is 100.7 The Score. I'm Randy Rosetta. I have to apologize to Cam here. I cheated him out of a catch when I mentioned his stats. He had 8 catches for 135 yards. Go you guys total yards. You guys wound up with 346. Cam ate the other night, Jason. He was pretty big for you guys the other night.
Yes, you know, the touchdown pass was big, but another big play was a third down conversion that he had. You know, he ran a great route, and the timing was on it, and so multiple third down conversions. You know, we threw a little quick out to him early in the game, and he got us out of jail off the goal line. And all those plays added up. You know, just you can go back and look, and games never won and lost on one play, but he made a bunch of big plays that were going to, you know, eventually, when you look back in hindsight, helped us win that game.
So, Tamon, the reason you guys were still in that game at halftime is because that defense was nasty in the first half. I don't think they got a first down until late in the second quarter, and they moved the ball a little bit right before halftime. What was working so well against them in that first half?
You know, a lot of our defense is quite young, but we do have a good amount of seniors. I know starting we have around 4 or 5 seniors on there, and what we do is we like to be real consistent, but we also like to keep all of our younger guys in check, but we also like to keep them up. Like, good plays, it's a good play, but it's next play mentality. You got to get back on the next play and do the exact same thing.
You're sitting next to a very offensive-minded coach. So a lot of times offensive-minded coaches want to try to run right out of a big line to see if they can kind of figure out something. That wasn't working against your guys. That front 4, front 5, 7 the other night was just, they refused to give up anything. And Wylie back was about as big as some of them.
Yes, sir. Their mentality, they're not going to let anybody. They don't worry about the size. As DBs, we don't worry about the size. It's us versus them, and every time we're going to put us up on top. Size doesn't matter for us.
Your defensive line being as good as they are, being a defensive back, how much does that help you to know that those guys are going to put pressure on and it's not going to be easy to run the ball?
That helps me personally. It helps me a ton because I can trust those guys to do their job. I won't have to do anybody else's job by mine, and that helps as a team. That's one of the biggest things that we got going for us.
So do you like one-on-one coverage when they start throwing the ball?
I love it. It's that challenge between me and the receiver. It's one of the best things that you can feel on that field out there.
You guys go head-to-head once in a while in practice?
A few times.
Every once in a while.
You want me to ask?
Come to my side.
How'd it turn out?
We know how it turned out.
You can just call it a draw. We'll just say it's a draw. That's okay. That's the way it should be. Jason, we talked after the game, and you said Abilene Wylie started hurting you guys, and said coaches make adjustments. That's what you guys did. That's what they did. There were certain plays, though, when you guys were able to get off the field and keep them. I know there was one stop late, maybe not real late, but where you guys were able to get the 24-14 lead. In a game like that, just getting a little bit of breathing room is huge. How proud of you were of that defense to make that stop when it mattered?
I'm very, very, very pleased and proud of the defense's performance that they put up on Friday night. To hold them to 7 points or hold them to no points. Our defense shut them out in the first half, and the offense had a little bit to do with that, though. We kept them off the field. They only had 18 snaps, and it's just a team effort. You've got to do it that way. Wylie, they showed their caliber. They're a good team. They expect to win, and good teams are going to find ways to make plays when it matters. And I think you saw two really good teams just trading blows in the second half because they didn't out scheme us. Some of their kids made some really good plays. They had a receiver go up and catch a contested pass on their sideline, and they got some yards after the contact on some of their runs, running hard. Their first touchdown, we come in and score and take the lead, and then they score again in like 4 or 5 plays. It was just boom, boom, boom. And they let us know they were there to play. They weren't going to lay down, and I like that because you want to play guys that want to play. And it's no fun when the team just lays down. And so for them to get into this battle with us, and watch us rise to the occasion, it let me know what our team's about. And we saw what Abilene Wylie's about. Tamon had a fumble recovery right before half and played great defense. He's an offensive guy first. He was a receiver for us. He hadn't played any defense until this year, but as we watched him through off season, and he's one of the hardest working kids in our program. And we just trust him, and he went out there and we just said, let's see what he does at corner. We still use him at wide receiver, but he's so valuable that we want to put our best dudes on defense, and he showed that he can get out there and cover, and he'll tackle and do all the things, and he's making us a hand over there. I was very, very proud of that defense.
We're going to come back and talk about that fumble because you took the big boy on, didn't you? It was a little screen pass or a pass to the flat. So we got one more segment in the Plains and Fan Zone. We'll be back right after this break on 100.7 The Score.
Your inside look into Monterey sports. This is the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. We got one more segment of the Plainsman Fan Zone. We've talked a lot about their 24-21 win against Abilene Wylie. There will be some of these guys who show up on the UpStreetPreps.com Players of the Week and Helmet Stickers post that comes out Wednesday night or Thursday morning. It depends on when David Thetford starts bugging me for it. I knew that he wasn't feeling good because I didn't get a text Wednesday night asking me where that was. So, David, if you're listening, I hope you're better. I don't know if you're making the trip to El Paso, but I know that's one of your favorite places, David. So, I hope you're better, and if not, we'll see you soon. You guys go to El Paso Franklin. That's Jason mentioned on the break here. These guys have made a long trip last year. They went to Choctaw, Oklahoma. You guys, I'm sure, stopped along the way and kind of got used to it. I remember Coach Thrash talking about how it felt like prep for a playoff game. Is that kind of how you want to approach this with these guys, to kind of make that stop, get out, stretch your legs, get them used to what you hope you're doing in November?
We've got a great plan in place. Coach Meeks has taken teams down there multiple times.
He coached down there himself.
Yes.
So.
And so, we sat down and visited and kind of went over best practice. It's going to always be beneficial to get out. You don't want to be on a bus for five and a half straight hours. So it just makes sense to get out somewhere and stop, stretch your legs, go through a walkthrough. I don't know if we will get in the playoffs and go on a 5.5 hour trip.
Well, there'd be one time you would, I would imagine. That's if you get to go to Arlington. Or you still play in Arlington in the championship?
Yeah. Is it 5 hours there? I thought it was only 4.
Well, it's a lot better 4 hours. Let's put it that way. So
we would definitely go through a walkthrough, but we have big goals. But we're not going to look ahead. We're not going to talk about playoff trips and all this. This is the trip to go compete against Franklin, and we want to just be dialed in and do that right and go beat Franklin and go 1-0. And so it's gonna be a tall order. They've got a good football team. They've got some really good football players on that team, and we're gonna have to battle. But I know our kids know how to travel from going to Choctaw, and they're hungry. So
that trip coming home's a lot shorter if you guys get the win.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Coach mentioned that if we don't get the win, the ride back isn't going to be as fun. So
it'd be a lot better if you get the win. Coach mentioned Franklin does the Franklin Cougars. They do have some players. They've got a young man, a running back, I assume, named Ernie Powers. This season, he's rushed for 634 yards in 2 games. So you don't have to figure out the math here. That's a lot of yards in 2 games. He's coming off a season when he rushed for 2,200 in 11 games. So they're obviously going to try to run the ball. Tamon, what do you guys go into the game with, thinking, knowing that they like to run the ball? They've got a guy. It's probably a little bit different than the kid you saw for Abilene Wylie, but what's the kind of the frame of mind for you guys?
We've been thinking he's definitely fast. That's one of the things that he has to him. But for us, defensive wise, we're looking at trying to get to our we got to get to our fits every level. Get there as fast as we can. We got to stop him before he can build up that speed, and then once he does, it's still we got to make that tackle on the secondary.
It looks like they're pretty single-dimensional, Jason. They've only thrown the ball 24 times, so that's a little bit different than what you've seen the first couple of weeks. You want to put you're proud of that defense. Now this may be a game where you go to them and say, okay, they're going to keep coming at you. Let's see what you can do.
Every game possesses its own challenges, and this challenge this week it begins with their offense, because not only do they have a really good running back, I believe he went to the state track meet. He's fast. Yeah. He's like a 10.5 guy, and he's got good size, like 215. So he'll be a tough back. And they've got 2 really good offensive tackles. I know one of their tackles has multiple offers, and so they've got a lot of talent on their offense, and they've got some talented defensive players too. But we have to take number 4. He's number 4. We got to take number 4 away from them and hold him down and make them see if they can throw the ball.
Make them
force them to do
uncomfortable.
it, because I have confidence that guys like Tamon in the back end are going to stay at home, do their job, not get – because you can get sucked in worrying about the run game. If you don't do your job back in the back end, you can give up some big plays to maybe a team that doesn't throw the ball well. You got to do your job.
Offensively, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you guys are going to look a lot more comfortable in Game 3. I already looked more comfortable in that second half. I think that's what I told you. You improved from Game 1 to Game 2, and then you improved from half 1 to half 2 the other night. I have a feeling you're going to look a little bit more comfortable, that Jonah's going to maybe have a breakout. So that is Friday night, 7 p.m. down in El Paso on 93.7 The Eagle. That takes us to a break. We'll be back in the Mustang Fan Zone right after this on 100.7 The Score.